What's going on, everybody? We're back. Cloud here, Northern Moon Willow Magic, and thank you for stopping by today. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a tag video, which comes from Intuition and Intention, and it is which, what, when, where, why. I love this tag. I love the questions that are involved with the tag. There's not many questions, but there's so much room to elaborate and to articulate, the reasons behind why we do what we do as pagans, or why we got in the path in the first place. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. So let's get after it. Okay, guys, so before we get going on this tag, where have I been? I'm sure there are some of you out there that are actually wondering where I've been, because I haven't posted a video in like a month. Okay, so I want to say back in like November sometime, I did this channel goals video where I was setting goals for the next year and all that, and I put a whole bunch of stuff up there on what I planned on doing, like videos for Yule and more recipes and all this other stuff. And a bunch of life got in the way, and people that were going to help me with things, bunch of life got in their way, and life's just going to get in the way sometimes. And you know what I mean, like, this is one of those things, and none of that happened. And none of it's probably going to happen, to be honest with you. But we are going to keep rolling with the channel. We're just going to have to reevaluate some things and how we do things here. All right. But I do want to say thank you for everybody who is checking this out, who is returning to Willow Magic. And, I really want to get some feedback on what you think of that Pagan Hip Hop songs. There's not a whole lot of Wiccan rappers out there, so let me know what you think there. All right, so to the tag. All right, so the first question is, like the first part of the tag, should I say, is how did you start along your path? And that is something that I believe I may have discussed in an earlier video, but maybe not. I actually found Wicca when I was like 14 or 15 years old. I had been kind of searching for something because I always felt different. When I was a real little kid, I was sent to Bible school. My grandmother was pretty much hell-bent on me going to Bible school, and I actually got kicked out for outright telling him I didn't believe him at like 6 years old. I just never really fit the mold, and I never really fit the mold of everybody else around me, even though growing up and even until my 20s, I was always putting a fake face on, trying to be something that I'm not, and trying to fit in instead of just being who I am, And I found Wicca. It's actually a pretty funny story. I was dating a girl, and she wasn't into witchcraft, but her mom was, and I never really spoke with her mom about it or anything. It's just when she told me that her mom was into witchcraft, and as she read tarot cards and all this other stuff, I was like, wow, that sounds really awesome to me. So I went to the bookstores like everybody else does, really. I mean, this is like pre-internet, so I went to the bookstore and I found a couple of books on witchcraft. And one of those was the Modern Witches Spellbook. I didn't really catch that all that much. But the other one was the one that a lot of witches start out with. And that was Scott Cunningham's Wicca Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. And through reading Cunningham's concepts on Wicca and what it was and how it could be done personally, it really spoke to me. And it filled a lot of holes in what I was feeling as a person, and how I was feeling and how I saw the world, as opposed to why I felt so different from everybody else. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to begin studying this path. Of course, I didn't get to remain on the path very long, because very shortly afterwards, my stepmother found all my books and everything, and it became a whole thing, and yada, 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 and everybody has a story like that, I'm sure. So I'm not going to get too deep into it, but maybe I'll do a story time one day and explain it. But I mean, it's all good now. But yeah, there was that time where, you know, there was a little bit of discrimination even at the house, and I went into the broom closet and I remained there for years. I even like my friends and everybody that I was hanging out with at the time in school and all that. Some of you guys might even watch this video because you're friends with me on Facebook and stuff. But I've been practicing witchcraft since that time, and I have been studying it behind everybody's back because I didn't want to bring it up, because I already felt different. I already didn't feel like I was like a part of the crew. I was just had some people to hang out with, you know, had some people to party with, and I never really felt fully connected to everybody that I was hanging out with because I always felt different. And you know, there's a lot of stress and a lot of depression that comes along with that, you know, especially like when you lose friends, when you feel like you have friends, you know, and stuff like that. So I never really wanted to bring out to everybody like, hey guys, I'm pagan and this is what I believe, because I already was self-conscious enough about feeling different as a person. So yeah, I started along my path at a young age. And I wouldn't say, because moving into the next part of the tag here, it says, was there one pivotal moment or was there many small steps? And I got to say it's kind of a combination of both for me, all right? There was this moment in my life when I was growing up, and I was taking small steps up into that point. But if you would have met me in my teens or my 20s even, you would have thought I was a complete knucklehead and wanted nothing to do with me, which is not wrong. And, you know, through life experience, we gained wisdom. And it was a lack of life experience where I was feeling like I knew more than I actually did. And coming off brash and doing brash things, trying to get attention because I wanted to be cool and all this other stuff. And this one pivotal moment was I went to my buddy's house to hang out one day, and everybody that was there was kind of like, yo dude, we don't really want you hanging out with us anymore here. And that like completely devastated me. And one of the ways I dealt with that in two ways, because I mean I felt these guys were like brothers and sisters, and it was like a big crew of friends, and, you know, and I kind of dealt with it two ways. One way was there was this other crew of kids that hung out like up the street, like kind of like in the next place over and all that, and I just started hanging out with them, like, oh, well, screw you guys, I'm gonna hang out with these guys over here. That didn't last long for me at all, to be honest with you, because those guys started kind of going down another path that I didn't want to go down, and all this kind of thing started happening, and you know what, I decided to just completely remove myself from the situation eventually. But it was during that time where I went from having a whole bunch of friends to having no friends that I really dove into my studies and learned witchcraft and learned what it was about to connect to, you know, to the earth and connect with nature. And I spent a lot of time by myself just hiking around in woods and doing stuff like that, you know. And then eventually I found another crew of friends, and then we kind of took a back seat again. So then we went back to small steps. But from that particular point, I had never given up my beliefs since then. I have never questioned my beliefs since then. Witchcraft has been my path since that point. And it's been small steps till there, and it's always going to be small steps. There's a book called Besom Stang and Sword. It's written by Christopher Orapello and Tara Love-McGuire. And in this book, they describe the path as a crooked path. And I would suggest reading this because the way that they break it out in there, it is very true. It makes a lot of sense. And you should definitely take a look at it, because these small steps, sometimes you're going to go this way, sometimes you're going to go that way, sometimes you're going to go this way and then back that way, and sometimes you're going to fall on your face, roll back a few steps. You know, it's just the way that your path moves. And the way that my path has moved has been very broad and very exploratory, if you will. Like I said, I mean, come on, you're talking to a guy who just wrote like 6 pagan rap songs. Now, I only posted 3 of them, but I have 3 more loaded in the chamber to come out. But yeah, so exploratory has kind of been like my thing of all the small steps that I've been taking one way or another. That's my own personal path. With my coven, it's a little more streamlined. And that's something that we'll get into a little bit later on. All right. So, when did I really connect? I want to say that I kind of got out of knucklehead mode and started really focusing on my craft when I was in the military. I was in the U.S. Army from 99 to 2002, and I ended up getting out early on a PT chapter, and I got chaptered out, and it was a whole kind of a mess right there with legs and not being able to run really all that well, and I've always been kind of fat, and it just didn't kind of work out for me, so I kind of washed out, to be honest. And but I did do a lot, and not a damn thing that I regret. So, you know, got to see a lot of things, and I've had a lot of life experiences that I wouldn't give up at all, you know. And that's kind of where it stopped for me, was when I got out of the military. I kind of went off of my path again for a little bit, like a few years, and it's just really because I didn't have a very good transition back to civilian life from military life, and I could give you the whole sob story, but I'm not going to. But yeah, it was really rough for a while. I hit rock bottom, and I had to build myself back up, and you know, we're about 15 years removed from that now, and I could say my life is wonderful now compared to how it was, so I'm good. The where did I start my path? Where did I go? Like I said, I started with Cunningham, like a lot of people do. Then I moved from Cunningham on to Buckland, the Gramassi. I read a little Ravenwolf. I thought it was very cheeky, and you know, while she was making very good points and was a very good teacher in her books, I found them a little light. So, but I still read them. I still, you know, pulled little bits out, because I'm an eclectic Wiccan. I really am. I kind of just pull from everywhere what works for me, within the guidelines of actual practice. You know, so it's not really so much like where did I start, because I really have been on this path for close to 30 years now. Well, we're coming up on 30 years. And I can sit here and say, oh, I've been practicing Wicca for forever, and I can teach you everything, and yada, 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 yada. And when it comes down to it, I know that there is so much that I don't know. So I'm not going to come out here and start spitting a bunch of knowledge at you guys. You study, research on your own, and find what it is that works for you, because that is the true essence of witchcraft, is the self-empowerment with what works for you. So it took me a long time to learn that. It also took me a long time to wrap my head around the concept of that, short of this is how you do circle, this is how you do this is how you do that, and everything has to be cut and dry. That is where I'm at now, is where it's more open. It's more open to discussion. If you want to talk about where we are in our paths. There is something that I like to do, and it kind of goes into the why portion of the tag as well, so that's why I'm going to bring it up here. And if you guys are watching other tag videos, there is a very, very kind and very positive soul named Vala of the River. And she has very kind words to say about my channel. Thank you very much for that. But she brought up something that I was actually planning on bringing up in this video, so here we go. When new people come to my coven, this is something that I ask them to do. And I do it myself yearly and or bi-yearly, depending on, where I'm at in life. So what I call it is the Who Are You essay. And it's just like a one-page thing where you write down what it is you want to get from your practice, who you are as a person, like acknowledging your strengths and your faults. What do you want to change about yourself? What goals are you going to set for yourself to move forward? And that's a good way to actually figure out your where in this, and to solidify your why. And to write it down, what I do, I take it from the potential seekers, and where I hold it myself, and I hold it for a year and a day, and then I give it back to them, and I let them read it, and they can see how much they've grown. So this does more than one thing for me, though. This helps me be able to see where they're coming from, to be able to teach them and to be able to reach them better. And then it also is there for them to be able to look back and see how much they've grown, which is wonderful. So that is something that is really good. And I want to thank you, Vala of the River, for bringing that up in your version of this tag video. That was super awesome. And to be honest with you, like, hearing you talk about the channel like that was like kind of kicked me in the butt a little bit to get up off my butt and make another video. Because I was planning on doing music tonight, but I said, we're going to make another video tonight because that's awesome. All right. And I'm really glad that you did that. And just on a side note, as I know she's going to watch this video, I want to tell you personally, right here in this video, that you said something in yours leading along to where you say that you don't know everything and you're not a 30-year-old sage and you don't, I'm paraphrasing, but I get your point. And I just want to tell you that a lot of people that are doing YouTube are in the same boat. And a lot of people that are practicing witchcraft are in the same exact boat. We want people to be able to speak with, like minds to work with, and to talk about our craft with, and to grow with. Every person that practices witchcraft, whether they know it or not, they have some kind of wisdom, some kind of idea, something to bring to the table in discussion and in growth that may open the eyes of other people, even people that have been practicing for 30 years, because one of the things about witchcraft is keeping an open mind to new opportunities and to new forms of knowledge. So you just keep on rocking and doing what you're doing, all right? Because I gotta say, I love your channel. I am loving the journey that we're seeing here. So you keep rocking, all right? All right, so back to the tag. So where am I now in my craft? Well, I have been legally ordained as a high priest for the last 10 years, and I have been teaching off and on for majority of that time. And my coven now that I have, this is my second teaching coven, and we have been together as a group for 4 years now. And where I'm at with my craft now is more from a tutorial area where I'm helping other witches find their own path, because what we do in our coven is a specific way, but it's not required to be doing it the same way by everybody. Everybody can do it however they want to do it. And when people join the coven, if they have something that they want to bring and add to our circle, if they are dedicated to the coven, then we will take little bits from what they want to do and how they practice, and add it into our practice, so that way we can all have a little bit of ourselves in our circle when we do our rituals. Where I'm at now is I'm very at peace with my place in the craft, and I take my role as a high priest in this coven very seriously. It's a huge part of my life, and it's one of the reasons why I keep moving forward every day. So that's where I'm at. Now, why did I get into witchcraft in the first place? Well, why does everybody get into witchcraft in the first place, right? I wanted to learn how to cast spells. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad that I had that knucklehead period where I thought I was casting a spell, and then I would sit around and wait for it to happen, and then it didn't happen because I didn't do anything to make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, magic is a manipulation of energy. It's also putting your own personal energy out into the world for it to do what you intend for it to do. Thus the word intent, right? So, but you gotta keep it moving, like, it's the best way for me to explain it. I explained this in one of my earlier videos, but if you're just finding the channel, you'll catch what I'm saying, okay? Magic. You do a spell because you need to get a job, right? I need a job. Oh, I need a job. You light candles, you do a whole 9 yards. You write a spell if you want, you find something on the internet, which I would suggest writing your own spells, but if you don't, you just find something on the internet and do it. It's cool with me, whatever. But you're not going to get a job if you don't go out and fill out an application. If you don't go on an interview. If you don't put your ear to the ground and try and find an opportunity, nothing's going to happen for you. And that is one of the big misconceptions about magic and spell work in general, that I'm really glad that I got into witchcraft to learn how to do spells, for me to fail at doing spells, so that now I get it and I understand how it works, like, I got into witchcraft because I always felt connected to something that was bigger than myself. I've always felt connected with others. I've always felt like I understood people and how they were feeling without even talking to them. I've always like very empathic, walk into a room and pick up on a vibe and know if I want to be in there or not, you know what I mean? Like, just like little things like that have always been happening with me, or trusting my gut and leaving an area and then something bad happening right after I left, you know what I mean? Like, things like that are why I continued my studies and why I believe what I believe now and why I practice the way I practice now. So, but I want to know why you guys out there got into the craft. So I would suggest doing this tag if you see fit, if you're a YouTuber. If you are not a YouTuber and you're just watching this, I want to know what got you into witchcraft. What drew you to the craft? You can leave that in the comments below, because I'd love to hear it. Another thing I'd love to hear is what you guys want to see out of the channel moving forward. There's tons of videos that I could make, and to be honest with you, I'm scripting out a few, but I got nothing right now. I've been working really hard on the Wicked Music Experiment, and we are working towards getting like a home recording studio set up so I can make the songs that I write on the guitar and everything fuller with backing tracks and everything, and make them like complete songs instead of just a guy with a guitar. So there's nothing wrong with a guy with a guitar, but when you write 9 songs and it's just a guy with a guitar and you're supposed to be writing songs in different genres of music, you need to be able to add more. So we're working on that, and that's probably like 6 months away. But then we're going to start cranking out a lot more music, and I'm also going to go back to the other songs that I've already written and fill them out and finish them. And like I said, I got 3 more hip hop songs loaded in the chamber that I haven't posted yet. And you know what? I don't really know what you guys think of that. And if you don't like it, don't listen to it. If you like it, cool, bump it. I had a lot of fun making them. I'm probably gonna keep making hip hop ones off to the side, just because I really really enjoyed the process of doing that. And we're going to shoot one video for one of the songs that I haven't released yet. And it's going to be like a legit rap video. It's going to be hilarious. So I really look forward to you guys thinking about that. And keep that fresh in your minds because it's coming down the line. It's kind of got to let it get a little bit warmer out. I live in New Jersey, so it's like wintertime now, and it's like really getting kind of cold and nasty. So we might wait until it warms up a little bit. But yeah. It's happening. But guys, thank you so much for watching the video. And if you got this far into the video, I really want to thank you. I want to be sure that you guys go and check out that book, Besom Stang and Sword by Christopher Orapello and Tara Love-McGuire. It's an excellent book. All right, so make sure you go and check that out. And make sure you go and check out Vala of the River because she has a very, very fun and very lighthearted journey happening right now. And I've really enjoyed watching it over the last couple of months or so since I've found her channel. Pardon me. Kind of a little congested. So I'm gonna go and do something about that. And yeah, until next time, guys. Cloud, Moon Wheel of Magic, bright blessings, and blessed be.